Okay, so maybe someday I will have a nice wall and a nice studio and a great setup, but for right now, it is about making videos, and I have not been good about it. So here we are. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I've been wanting to talk about. I'm really bad about just organizing my thoughts in like a coherent way. I probably should be taking notes and writing better like semi-scripts for videos, but I kind of feel like, at least early on, I just want to, talk from the heart. I don't know, whatever. My wife got me this book. It's called The Appearance of Power by Tanner Guzy. Tanner is awesome. Been a big fan of his for a really long time. He's an image consultant out of Utah. Really just he kind of tackles the philosophy of style, and not only inspired me to be, I guess he kind of took me to the next level. I was at a certain level of style, and he kind of brought me up a few notches with his views, and then also helped me on my journey to be more thought out and philosophical, and he was a big part of that. I know that most people just kind of see me on Instagram and whatever, but I think I'm smart. No, I don't know. I don't know if I'm smart, but I like to believe that I am. Yeah, so I mean, this book's really great. I'm only a little bit of the way in. A lot of the concepts I'm already familiar with because I've listened to a lot of Tanner's stuff and a lot of things that I've kind of observed on my own. But I really like that he puts a lot of these concepts into words. So I wanted to talk a bit about people and their style, and he kind of breaks people down into, I think in this one it's like 3 categories, but I mean, there's the guys who don't care, who go out of their way. So there are 3 types of guys. There are guys who go out of their way not to care about their style. There are guys who just want to like blend in and just want to be average. And then there are guys who he calls them affinity, that they have an affinity for style. So I'm definitely an affinity for style guy, to the point where I would really like to do this in some capacity for a living. I think that would be great. I really enjoy the creativity of putting together looks, the creativity of getting to know somebody and really putting together a style that works for them, and like being able to like read into like what is going to work for this person. Not only like look good, but also make it that when they look in the mirror they go, oh, that is me, like, okay, that makes sense. So there's the 3 types, right? So the first type is the style is, terrible, and generally, I don't know, I've got that a lot in my life. I've had a lot of people be like, oh, like, you dress well, you must be XYZ, insulting term. And then, there's a lot of people who are just like, I'll be like, hey, like, you should consider your style. And they're like, that's for women, or that's for whatever, which, I mean, it's for everyone. It's just for everyone. You should want to look good. Like, you should just be presentable. Which is how we get to the middle camp, which is the average people, that they're like, oh, I just want to be presentable. I don't want to look terrible. But what ends up generally happening is they don't look great. There's almost like a style to the like I don't care group, the ambivalent group. It's because because most people are kind of meh, and if you're trying to like, when you're trying to emulate someone, when you're looking at someone's style and you're like, I want to try to be like this, unless you really have like a grasp of what's going on, you're gonna miss certain cues. So whatever you're doing to like mimic the other person is going to be that a few tiers down. So if your goal is to like mimic general society in a way that you're not like noticeable, it's gonna be like the general society a few tiers down. So like I see this a lot in my community. Ferragamo shoes are really popular in my community, which, don't get me started. But I will see people who are, let's say, like lower income or just kind of like trying to fit in, and they will be wearing like buckle loafers. Now, if you ask them why they're wearing buckle loafers, they probably couldn't tell you, but the obvious reason is because the influential people are wearing Ferragamo shoes, and if you're familiar with them, they have a buckle. And so they just see, oh, this is what people are wearing. Okay, I will wear a black leather buckle shoe. You see it a lot with people. There are people who even go a step further down the ladder where they're just like, it is a black shoe, therefore it is an acceptable shoe, which is not true at all. It's probably one of my biggest pet peeves, is the idea that just like, it's black, it's a dress shoe. Like, no. It's just, I mean, bad shoes are one of the best ways to just ruin literally anything you're wearing. They're definitely a big pain point for me to see people wearing terrible shoes. That's, I would say, the biggest issue with being that kind of neutral tier, where you really, where you like hate the idea of style and you're really going out of your way to look like as like you put as little effort in as possible. And you'll see those people wearing like heavy metal t-shirts or like shorts, and you'll know the difference between the people who are doing that because they want to and like to look a certain way, and the people who are just like, no, like, I'm gonna reject style. So that middle group, what generally ends up happening is you end up a few tiers below what's even like average. So you just end up being like mediocre at best. I mean, those are the people who I don't want to talk about the type of people that are like that, because I don't think it's really true. I know a lot of exceptional people in my life, like truly exceptional people who take that approach. So I wouldn't say that it reflects on their worth as a human being. And I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions that I had. And I'm probably getting off on a tangent and rambling a little bit, but such is life. But one of the things that I get a lot when I talk to people about style, or that, like, people get the feeling like, I'm not good enough, like, why do I need to dress well? And it's not that you're not good enough, because that's definitely not it. Like I said, like, I know a ton of exceptional people, and I know very few people who dress well. Lots of exceptional people, very few people who dress well. So if people who dress well, like, if exceptional people dress well, or people who don't dress well are not exceptional, that's just not true. Like, no correlation, no causation, just like nothing. There are tons of successful people, there are tons of wonderful people, there are, you don't have to dress well to be a good person. But one of the things with dressing well is that if you dress in a way that is communicative of who you are, then you can, like, let people know, that you're a good person, or that you have certain skills, or have certain personality traits, and then people can decide, and then people can see you, and the people that you want to attract in your life will come to you. So, like, if you're putting out there, like, I'm this type of person, you're going to attract that type of person. So if you're an exceptional person, but you're putting out there, I'm a meh person, like, you're just going to get a lot of meh people, like, just adding to your life. And if you're wondering, and then that can make you more mediocre. Like, the more you're, like I said, when you're emulating a group, you're generally going to be a few tiers below if you're just trying to emulate. So if your group keeps getting more and more mediocre, like, you're going to keep emulating more and more mediocre. Whereas, like, if you're with, highly successful people, you're going to be pulled up. And also, if you're, with people who dress better or care about their appearance, you're also going to be pulled up in that way. And if you care, you can actually come in a few tiers above. And then the people that you would associate with may actually start looking up towards you. So that's kind of great. So now the third category, the affinity. I know that I rambled a lot on the first and the second. I didn't really give a lot to the first because there's not a ton there, outside of that they obviously care about how they look. They care about showing that they don't care how they look. So that, backwardsness. I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. Yeah, but the affinity people. So I am an affinity person. I really like to think a lot about, what I want to add to my wardrobe, and what kind of signals I want to give off, what kind of people I want to affiliate with, and what kind of people I want to attract into my life. I really like to be able to pick the people that I attract into my life. So sometimes I think I might be a little standoffish in person. And that's just generally to give me a little bit of time to decide who I want to talk to. And then over time I end up, getting to know a lot of different people that I wouldn't have expected. But I just like that ability to choose. So I think I don't know, I think I'm rambling. Anyone who's watching this video, it's just like this is charity work, people. This is charity work, watching me ramble. Totally incoherently. God, I hope someone enjoys this. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where I was going with this video, outside of just generally discussing a little bit of this book, which is amazing. But the main overarching point that he brings about these three types of people: the person who claims not to care about how they look, and that it's bad to care about how you look; the person who just wants to kind of fit in; and then the person who has the affinity, the person who likes to dress well and actively dresses well and presents themselves a certain way. The point that he's trying to bring is that although two of these groups think that they don't care about their style, they actually do. All three groups care about their style, and all three groups encompass all people, all men. Specifically here we're talking about men. So all men care about how they look. They all care about how they look. Some of them care specifically to look bad. Some of them care specifically to just try to stay in that neutral range, and some of them care to look good. So, but what's holding back groups 1 and 2 is generally the idea that caring is bad or wrong. But I think that a lot of people, if they would take a step back and say, oh, of course I care about how I look, then they might take certain steps to dress a little better. And dressing a little better, or dressing well, doesn't mean wearing a suit every day. It doesn't mean being like a fashion god. Most of what people wear, if they would adjust the fit a little bit, pick slightly better colors, sometimes even downsize their wardrobe, wear more neutrals, they would just, first of all, have an easier time getting dressed and just look better more effortlessly. And there are ways to look good that people don't look at you and go oh, he's a style guy. There are tons of simple ways that people are able to see you as a complete person. There are ways that you can dress that someone will see you and they'll see you, right? So what you're wearing is nice, but not distracting from who you are, not distracting from you. There are for sure people who like to wear things that are distracting from who they are or that grab attention, but style is a giant, endless, it's just infinite. Style is infinite. It's as infinite as you are. And of course, there are some rules, and there are some ways to break those rules. But learning the skills of style are definitely going to have a positive impact on your life. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave hateful comments about how rambly I am. And I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I will be a little bit better at this.